everyone, my name is Ai.
And my name is Anton. Today we have a very, very talented musician. He's a member of the band A1. Welcoming him back to Mix, Mark Reed. Hello!
How you doing, guys? It's really great to see you. Very good to be here today.
Thank you very much. Right now over here, it's 6 p.m. in the evening, but I feel like my day just got brighter. So much positivity. Just want to know, how are you doing there? You're in UK now, so just let your Filipino fans know and everybody listening right now, how have you been doing these days?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. And firstly, can I just say I hope you're doing well, and I'm sending all my best wishes to anybody who's been affected by what's been going on. I'm doing pretty good. I have to say the lockdown has certainly eased a lot over here. Although there's a slight risk of a second wave coming. But we're doing good. We're doing okay. And I have to say, for a musician, for a songwriter, lockdown is kind of like bliss, because it just means you get locked away with all your guitars, your instruments, and what are you going to do? You're going to just play and create every single day of the week. So it's getting the opportunity to do the things that we never had time to do before. So I know it's a really challenging time for a lot of people, and I'm doing okay. So thank you for asking.
That's great to hear. You mentioned about how you have time now to do a lot of things. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are curious. Outside of music, what does Mark do to keep himself busy, or to, just to have fun?
Well, what we do, we're so lucky, is so much fun anyway. I mean, we get to sing on stage for a living, which is an incredible thing. But outside of this, I'd say I pretty much fill most of my days and most of my hours with doing music and production and songwriting. But if I wasn't doing that, I would be watching movies. I'm a big geek at heart. I might read a couple of comic books here and there, do some video editing. I love doing video editing. But yeah, I'm just a complete nerd. So that's how I fill my days.
Now, before we talk about your music, just one last question. If there is one recent movie or TV show that you've just started to watch and just really fallen in love with, what can you suggest and recommend for us to watch?
Oh, wow. Well, it depends, really. I mean, are we talking family friendly? Are we talking anything?
Any.
Absolutely. Any. Well, I'll just give you a quick blast of something I watched just a couple of nights ago, a show called Lovecraft Country, which just blew my mind. It was the most insane program I think I've ever seen. It's very timely. It tackles a lot of things that are very prevalent in the world today, certainly race issues, but it's also combined with horror. So it certainly sets, I don't want to give too much away because it's a brand new show, but it starts off being one thing and then it just flips it on its head and it becomes something else. It's a real kind of genre mashup kind of show, but it blew my mind. Within the first 30 seconds of the show, you're like, wow, what is this? What is this? But other than that, there's a lot of great shows out there. I mean, I'm one of these people, I can never just sit on a sofa and watch TV. I have to be doing something else. I don't know if you're the same, but so I would coincide training from home, because obviously we can't go to the gym. So I would coincide training with watching TV series. So.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, there you go. Okay, binge watching. I can totally relate to that. Yes, but how about some new hobbies? Are there any new skills or new talents that you've discovered? Because some people suddenly discovered they wanted to become a chef, or they loved gardening during the quarantine. How about you? What new thing did you discover about yourself?
Yeah, isn't that amazing how during lockdown we've all kind of discovered new talents, as you say. One of them for me is definitely not TikTok dancing.
Not yet.
Not yet. Exactly.
We'll see. We'll see.
But did you try?
There you go.
It's not going to happen. That's about the extent of it, I'll be honest. But I think I haven't taken to gardening. I've been living here for 5 years and I haven't done a thing to the garden. I know that sounds terrible, but I'm not at that stage in my life where I'm going to start. I'm fairly old. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting on a bit. I mean, in pop years, I'm like a dinosaur, but that's okay because Dinosaurs are cool, but I'm not at that age where I want to start gardening. So I'm not quite old enough to do gardening, but I'm you know, I'm not quite young enough to be cool and go out all the time. So I do have a garden, but I haven't done a thing to it yet. So that hasn't really answered your question at all, has it?
No, that's okay.
I was just telling you about my terrible garden. But I would say the new talent that I've discovered is probably video editing, because with Final Cut Pro, because we're obviously, as a band now, we're doing concerts online. So we're doing live virtual concerts. So I've been editing all the videos for that. And that's been a lot of good fun, because as you probably know, if you have a band on Zoom, if they're in 4 different locations, the sound is going to be a complete mess. Yeah. I mean, we can try it now. Do you want to do a little a cappella together? We'll be all over the place. You treat me like a rose. You give me room to grow. Yeah, come on, keep in time.
I'm too shy.
Love on me. Woo! It's all over the place.
That was a treat for us.
Hey, Anton, I was waiting for you to join in there. What happened?
No, I'm too shy. I can't. I don't.
How you are with TikTok? That's
I'm just gonna do the dancing. I'm just gonna sing that. But anyway, I was hoping you were gonna say that you started reading. That's just a corny joke. But it would have been. I'm just saying it would have been pretty funny.
You took me right back to school then, where every diss, every burn was about my name. Mark can't read. Mark, read a book. And they're like, you know what? It's kind of lucky that my name's Reed, because there are far worse burns that you could suffer than Mark can't read. You know. Yeah.
Reed is pretty nice.
I did get Mark Weed as well. They were very clever. Oh. They changed the letter.
Okay.
Mark Weed. Aren't kids cruel?
Yeah,
they are the cruelest.
But they're creative. I would say they're creative. And from reading, now let's talk about writing. You have a new song. It's a new single. Thank you very much. Smile Again, and that song really makes me smile. The thing about this, though, is that you wrote it. You started writing it a few years ago. Right. Now, what's the story with this song?
Well, back when I was kind of like a jobbing writer, as you call, writing was my day job. Now, I still consider myself to be a songwriter, but there is a difference when you're a band and you're touring, and then when you're just a songwriter. Because when you're a songwriter, you write every single day of the week, like a day job. And you write with different writers every single day, and you meet new people, and sometimes you put in a room together and they say, come up with a song. And you've never even met the person. It would be like us starting to write a song right now. So, and I'm sure it'd be a great song. If I was say, hey, Anton, throw us a lyric. If you said a word, then we would develop it like that. And that used to happen every single day. So on this occasion, I was invited to write with a gentleman by the name of Russ Ballard and his son Christian Ballard, and there was another chap in the room as well, Arno Spires, which is a very cool name, cool chap. And so we just started talking, which is often how you start a writing session. You see what's going on in your life. There has been a couple of times where I've come into a writing session where you don't even have an introduction, you go straight into writing. And that's a really strange thing, because you don't even know the person you're working with. And it's literally like this, right, what are we doing? Okay. And then you go. But on this occasion, I went to their house. I had a lovely place on a farm. We were able to talk about things. And we ended up talking about a girl who had been going through a really difficult time, having a really difficult time in their lives. And we actually kind of just sort of wrote about how it would feel to be in that kind of dark place. But, you know, turning it around and coming out on the other side. And that's how Smile Again began. So we had this song. It was very different from how it sounds now. And like many songs, when you write songs, songwriters often write 100 songs, and maybe only one of them or two of them will get cut and released. So all these other songs, they just stay on your computer or on a shelf, and nobody hears them. I like to go back to songs that I had a good feeling about, and Smile Again was a song that I always believed in. And I just thought there's something about that lyric that kind of, it resonates with me, and hopefully it will resonate with other people as well. So with everything that's gone on this year, I just thought, you know what, it feels like the perfect time to release a song about coming out into the to the real world. Though obviously now we're all in like a new world, but coming back to a place where you're dealing with some stuff, but you're getting through it with a smile. And so I just set about rewriting the verse. I adapted it from how it used to sound, because it was actually much more of a I'm not going to say cheesy, but it was much more of a young pop song, the original version of it, because I think we were actually writing it for a new young girl band at the time in the UK. So I changed the verse, I changed the lyrics, and gave it a completely new style of production, which is slightly more kind of tropical house, pop dance, slightly electronic as well. And and here it is.
Yeah. And I'm curious to know though, because we can see that you are a very positive person. Even your music is very positive. But in this song, when I was listening to it, I was thinking, is Mark singing to himself? Like, are you talking to yourself also, telling yourself that you can smile again? There are topics of mental health and all that. I'm curious. Like, were you in some way sort of singing to yourself for yourself as well?
Well, I do spend a lot of time singing to myself anyway, because I'm home all the time, and no one else is listening. So no, you're absolutely right there, because there is a definite underlining mental health message behind this song and subject as well that we tackled, and I think it resonated with me more with where I'm at in my life at the moment, and obviously what everybody else is going through. So absolutely, it's funny, you can write a song many years ago, and this happens with a lot of songs, but depending on where you are at in your life, at certain stages of your life, a certain song that you've perhaps heard 100 times before can hit you like a ton of bricks, because you never noticed something about that lyric because you were in a better place in your life. I remember there's an old song which you may be familiar with, the wind beneath my wings.
Oh yeah,
classic.
The classic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did you ever know that you're my hero? So I know that my mum, who was a singer, she'd sung that song 100 times, more, many times. But then when my dear granddad passed away, when she sung that song, it resonated with her in a completely different way. And the same happened to me when the sorry to bring it down a bit. We will lift it up again. I promise.
Okay. No, it's okay. It's okay.
The weekend when my granddad passed, I had an A1 gig, and so obviously the show must go on, and my granddad wouldn't have had it any other way. He was a performer too, and I was actually over in Norway, and I had a gig with Ben and Christian. And those songs, when I was singing Every Time and Like a Rose, those songs hit me so hard because of what was going on in my life. So it just goes to show it's the power of music, really. Right, let's bring the tone up again. Hey! Joy. Happy joy.
No, that's something that I love. That it's the power of music, and I feel like the more important thing, it's great to be happy, but what you show is that you're honest and you're truthful in the words that you put out and how you put out your music. So it's not really just about being happy, because you also said is that music is less about selling albums and having #1 hits and more about connecting with people. So where did you sort of develop this mindset? Was it something you feel like you were born with, or something you had to learn along the way?
I think life experience kind of guides you in that sense, because when we first started out as a band in 1997, yes, I know some of you weren't born when we first came out. This is true. When we first started out as a band, we were these young kids. We were very young, I will say. Ben was like 16, I was 19, Christian was 21, Paul was 23, and so quite a big age difference between the oldest member of the band and the youngest. But actually, yes, we all got on so well because we really balanced each other out with our different personalities, and we all took on different roles at different times. And but when we first started out, it was all about, let's write a fun song, let's write, and they were quite I don't want to put them down in any way, because they're a big part of my life and, you know, my heart. But you write slight naive love songs, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
You kind of, you write love songs because you're writing things that you think people want to hear and that will connect with them. But with life experience, it becomes more real and less naive. I mean, like, sometimes when you're writing a song when you're 16 or you're 19, you're just thinking, what rhymes with this word? And, you know, so, which is fine. Sometimes when you write from a very inexperienced, honest place, you actually produce some real kind of not overcomplicated kind of just magic happens, you know. And we certainly had that with some of the first songs that we wrote. But as you get older and you go through things, you find a way to harness those difficult feelings and and it's your own way of therapy, giving yourself therapy. So writing songs for me is certainly, it's giving myself therapy, really. And hopefully it helps other people in that way as well, because we all go through this similar things, and I think we can all relate to these things. I can certainly relate. One of my favorite artists, I've not heard anything from him for a few years, but John Mayer, his lyrics speak to me every time. His lyrics are amazing because they're so real and so kind of conversational. But like, you know, songs like Half of My Heart and Dreaming with a Broken Heart, it breaks me. That song breaks me. And I'm sure we all have songs like that where we've all woken up from a really great dream about somebody that we've been in the past, and we're like, I think I may have cried in my sleep, you know, because of how I felt from, and that song, I believe, captures that. And I think you realize that that is more important than just having a song that people can dance to and be a hit for a couple of weeks. You want to write a song that connects and resonates with people for years to come.
Yeah, that song that you.
Yes, the song "Dreaming with a Broken Heart." I just suddenly imagined what would it be like if you mashed up. You know, do I have to fall asleep with roses in my hand and you sing "Like a Rose" after? Like, whoa, what would that sound like?
I think you may have just given me a great idea. Right. I'll give Ben a call after this, and we'll get on it.
Oh my goodness. But I was also gonna say that's one of those songs that, even if you're not experiencing heartbreak, it's like, it's like you kind of want to experience it, because that's where the song that's where the song takes you.
But that's the thing. When we first hear songs and when we're young, it's like, it always makes me laugh where you get young kids like singing along to like rap music when they've not experienced that culture and that life, but they kind of, it connects so much with them in a way that they feel like they are part of that and they feel like they can relate to that. But the truth is, when you hear a song about heartbreak, it's only when you've really experienced heartbreak that you really fully understand the meaning behind that song.
Yeah. Now, talking about, you know, songs taking us to a different place, something that this song, you also recently released this one, Where Were You When the World Stopped? Everybody's experiencing it, but you know, we're all experiencing it in our different ways. What was making this song like? I can imagine that it was different from, of course, when you'd make songs to like make people happy, or you make a song because you feel like the girls are gonna love the song. But this one is different, you know. Where were you when the world stopped? From your first line, where were you when the virus struck? What was that experience like coming up with this song?
Well, it was very unexpected. Back in May. I mean, I know that's not that long ago now, but a very good friend of mine, an old school friend by the name of Jonathan, he got in touch with me. He goes, he's a graphic designer, by the way. He's a brilliant talent in his field. And he said, I've written some lyrics, and I don't know what to do with them. I wonder if you could take a look at them and maybe write a melody to them. And I don't know if that ever happened to you and one of your friends just got in touch and said, say if one of your friends, I know you guys do other things as well, but let's look at it from a radio perspective, a DJ perspective. If somebody said to you, hey, I've just put together a DJ show reel, what do you think? Have a look at this, you know, maybe we can collaborate. In your head, you're like, well, that's the furthest thing that I ever would imagine to happen. Because I know my friend Jonathan from years by, you know, he's not a songwriter, he's not a performer. But But here he is coming from a very honest and real place because of what he's going through. He's emoted by writing it down. And I said, yeah, I'll set aside an hour to look at it. And one Sunday I looked at the lyrics like, wow, these are really good. These really connect with me. And as you say, it was like, where were you when the virus struck? You know, and I wrote a song in 15 minutes to it. It was the quickest song I've ever written. Literally, wow. It just, I was at home, keeping my distance at home. And it just grabbed me straight away. And then I thought, I think we need to get this out now, because there's not many other times when you can release a song about being in lockdown. I mean, like a couple of years from now, it's the last song that people are going to want to hear. Even now, perhaps, because obviously everybody's had enough of it. No. But at the time, it felt right. And I decided to do a video where I had so many fans from all over the world sending in videos of what they've been doing during lockdown. So the whole video became about, you know, what we've been up to in lockdown. So I had videos of families together, people in isolation. I had a lot of frontliners send me in videos of them working in the hospitals. And it was really, for me, it was really inspirational. And it moved me so much that I think that was part of where I kind of changed my mindset of what songwriting can, how it can connect with people. I think probably doing Where Were You was really set me off on this journey of kind of, music means more than just a song. Music means more than just a, and I know I've always believed that in the past, but I think when all the things fall into place, when all the stars align and something happens in the world, because as creatives, adversity does make you kind of, it brings out some of your best work for all of us. You know, sometimes when we're under pressure, or sometimes when we're struggling, that's when the most real things happen. And I think that's what happened with Where Were You? And if you get a chance to check out the video is really, it's wonderful. There's a moment where I get everybody on the screen at the same time, and I think this is kind of cool.
So did you edit this yourself?
Yeah. I had over 200 video clips sent in to me. I was like, right, how am I going to get these on the screen at the same time? But we were talking earlier about like new talents that we discovered and things that we do during lockdown. I really discovered a kind of a new talent for the video editing, because the great thing is with, you know, 2020, you just look up on YouTube and you can find a tutorial for anything. If you want to find a way to do something, you pretty much can do it. And so I was like, right, how am I going to get 100 videos on the screen at the same time? How do I then make it into the shape of a heart? How do I then have hearts coming out of the screen and all this kind of stuff? And I was doing some pretty cool things. And I also wanted to make it look like some of the video was on TikTok. Some of it was on Facebook Live. So if you watch the video, there's lots of effects. Yeah. And I mean, you know, I'm doing this independently, obviously. I'm doing this. I never planned on releasing any singles at all. I mean, A1 are working on a new album, which is going to come out next year. But in terms of our solo material, this was just so unplanned and spontaneous. So I don't have, at the moment, I don't have record company support. But I think for an independent project, I think the video is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I saw eyes just light up the moment you said, you just said a matter of fact, like, oh, A1's coming up with a new album. We have to talk about this.
Yes, you said it so nonchalantly, and we're like, wait, what?
Wait, did I just hear that right?
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Is this like a full-blown album? Are the songs done? How many have you written? How many have you finished?
No, I can't tell you any more about that.
Ooh,
I'm kidding. We were on tour at the beginning of the year on a tour called the Boys Are Back tour, which was going all around the UK. And unfortunately it was cut short. So but whilst we were on tour, we were recording the album every chance we had. We were, because we brought our microphones on tour with us. It's slightly different to when we used to record albums, when we'd all be in the studio together. Now it's kind of depressing, really. Now you can make an album with a laptop, you know. Right, laptop's out. Let's write a song.
So, I would say that you guys actually started doing it, because now a lot of musicians, we have the chance to interview a lot of musicians, and they're saying that we have to learn how to do it by ourselves because we can't go to a studio anymore. We gotta learn it. So you guys actually were probably one of the first ones who know how to just, we have to do it by ourselves.
When we first started out, way back when, as I said, we were very reliant on producers, studios, and things like that. Never songwriters. We always wrote, other than Take On Me, the Aha cover, we wrote everything. So we pretty much wrote our own songs all the time. So we were very self-dependent in that respect. But as producers, that happened later on when we did the Caught in the Middle album. The album's called Make It Good, but when we did that album, we played everything. Me and Christian played all the instruments, everything except for drums. So we had more experience in getting involved with the production, and the producer at the time would let us produce the B-sides. Anybody watching is going, "What's a B-side?" The bonus track.
Yeah.
The extra track. So the producer would let us produce the bonus tracks. And so we got more and more experience. And then when the band took a break, pretty much myself, Ben, and Christian became producers, became full-time producers. And so the last couple of albums that the last couple of songs that we've worked on, we've completely produced ourselves. So this album will be a self-produced, self-written, and also the first album in many, many years that Paul has joined us as well. So yes, there's a lot to be excited about. It's going to be a good album.
But what kind of songs can we expect from here? Are you still going to be talking about, are these love songs, or are these like the trademark A1 sound that we're going to be hearing?
It's so interesting that what we were talking about earlier with how songs resonate, connect with people based on real life experiences. One of the songs on this album, I'm not going to give too much away. Me and Christian were in his front garden just talking about certain relationship things, and I said something to him. I'm not going to give it away because I want to wait until you hear the song.
All right.
And he said something, and then I said something which kind of elaborated on that, because song titles, if you want to be clever and creative, it's all about flipping things on their head and just same old brand new you. I know it's not rocket science, but it's kind of like a play on words that makes a good catchy title. And I said something, and then he said that would make a great song title, and then we ended up writing a song that day based on a very real situation, and I think is one of the best ballads that we've written before. So a really lovely song. And then we've got probably 6 or 8 songs already, and so we're about 2/3 of the way through the album. So if once we get the chance to work together again, I think we're probably looking for a next album release next spring, probably. Yeah,
that is amazing.
We need a bit of time to make sure it's right and it's the best possible album that we can put out. But I'd say it's going to be like one of our favorite songs as a band is One More Try, because please give me one more try for the sake of our love. Yeah. And that was one of the first songs that we wrote together, all 4 of us. And so we do have a song on this new album that I'd say is very similar to One More Try. It's a similar kind of style song. And I can't give anything away about that, but it's a really lovely song. Really nice.
Well, we can't wait for that. Actually, a lot of your fans are commenting now about what you just said about the new album. We have a comment from Radia Raisa G. Ibrahim. She says, "We can't wait for A1's new album and especially love the sound of an independent release without any record company help. That just proves how multi-talented you guys really are."
Wow,
that's lovely. Aww. Thank you, Risa. I really appreciate that. That's very nice. But I'm hoping that we can release the album with a record company, and that is the plan. Because if let me explain. I mean, like when you do it independently, you can connect with your fan base and you can get so far. But I think that one of the biggest differences about having a label support is they can actually get it out to everyone, and they can get it out on a much bigger scale. And it doesn't mean it's impossible. I mean, it certainly can be done independently, and it's great that more and more artists nowadays are doing things themselves. And there are so many viral hits and things like that. I mean, look at the TikTok explosion is incredible, because if you think about it, record companies didn't have any hand in that. It just just happened, and they're probably all jumping on board now, signing everybody up so they can get some of that, slice of the pie. But I think it's so important for artists to be self-contained and independent as much as they can, and also to be in control of what they put out. Because when we first started out, we only had so much control over what we released. I mean, often the record company would choose the singles. They'd say, you're putting out this song now. And so I think you've always got to stay true to yourself and what you believe in and what you want to put out as your creative output. I mean, look at an artist like Billie Eilish. She's so unique. She's so unique with her creative output. And I think that's very much her. And that's what makes her stand apart, sets her apart from all of the other artists, because she's so unique. And so always look for something that makes you stand out. That's a tiny little tip.
Yeah. Now that we're talking about younger artists like Billie Eilish.
Go ahead.
Hi, am I back? Sorry.
No, we can hear you.
Now that we're talking about Billie Eilish and other new artists coming out, of course, you are one of the pioneers of the boy band era. What are your thoughts about the K-pop boy bands that are coming out now, that are dominating as well in the music industry, not just in Korea but all around the world?
I see and hear a lot of our early music when I listen to BTS. I think they capture that fun, that sort of innocence that young pop music has. And it's funny, particularly when I heard Dynamite, I thought, like, that's the kind of song that Ben, Christian Paul would have written in an afternoon. Actually, probably in an hour. So it's like unapologetic pop. And I don't know about you, but I think there is nothing wrong with unapologetic pop. There's certainly a place for that, where it's just simple, just makes you feel good. And that kind of music is fantastic. So I think it's brilliant. I personally, I'm glad that there was only 4 of us in our band, because it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to manage. When you're dealing with so many people, it's like, I mean, like we had enough fun and trouble when we lost Paul at the airport. It's enough trouble when you have just 4 members. Imagine trying to keep hold of 11, 12 guys. It's crazy.
That's right. I just wanted to ask, now you're someone who was seeing the growth and development of the music industry. Are there any boy bands that you mentioned BTS, but besides them, are there any other boy bands that just sort of like catch your attention and you're like, oh, being someone who has been through that and has achieved a lot of success, that caught your attention? Is there any boy band?
Oh, so many. Would you call 5 Seconds of Summer a boy band?
Well, they play their instruments live as well, like they're more on the rock band category.
I listen to their music and I think that was not a million miles away from the kind of the pop music that we were doing when we were doing like Caught in the Middle, and because that's the thing, when you have instruments, are you no longer a boy band? Because we actually changed our style. But when you think back about like the Jackson's 5, you could say that they were kind of like a precursor to the whole boy band.
That's right.
Because there were bands back then that were, because what makes a boy band? It's a band that is teen idols. If they are idolized by teens, they're like a boy band. So I think you had the Jacksons. Then of course you had bands like New Edition, and then New Kids on the Block, and that kind of started the whole boy band explosion, where it was more about the dance routines than about the playing. And I don't need to tell you this. We were never great dancers. We were just 1-on-1. That's the way we do it, baby. We were musicians that had to learn how to dance. So I think that's one of the differences between boy bands and just pop bands is a lot of boy bands, they recruit people that are really good dancers and phenomenal dancers. Like a band in the UK, we have like Take That. 3 of them were like professional dancers, really, really good first-class dancers. So we the closest we had to a professional dancer in the band was probably Paul. But the rest of us, we could move, but I would never call us dancers. It was only when we got around to doing Take On Me and Say My Brand New that we really stepped it up, and we were doing some great moves, really good dancing. But now other bands that have caught my eye, there doesn't seem to be a lot around at the moment. You wouldn't even call the Vamps a boy band. I mean, they're another UK band, but they're with instruments as well. So I think.
Yeah.
The only bands that I've really noticed are the boy bands that play their instruments. So, those, who am I missing out on? I mean, obviously there's One Direction, but even then, Niall plays, so they're still musicians.
And they don't like dancing as well.
Exactly.
But I would have to. There's a comment here from Patricia Ann de La Paz. I have to agree with her. She says, "No, you are brilliant dancers," and I have to say that I feel like. I think we need to take away the stigma that there are people who are dancers and there are people who are not dancers. I believe that it is a natural human reaction to music and emotions to dance. And just by looking at your comments, I really see how much your fans mean to you and how generous you are to your fans. You posted on Instagram thanking a bunch of Filipino fans. So making it specific here in the Philippines, is there like a different energy that you uniquely get from the Filipino fans?
Well, I know that there's going to be people watching from all over the world, so I have to be careful with my answer. But
this is the Philippines. I have to put us on the top. I have to put this for the simple view.
I think you summed it up perfectly. There is a special kind of energy that we get from our Filipino fans that we always have. That it's unlike anywhere else in the world, and I just think it's that love, it's that warmth, and. When I think of the Philippines and when I think of people in the Philippines, it immediately makes me smile. I don't know why that is. It's just because you are the most smiley nation in the world. And that's a wonderful thing, and that radiates all around the world. So I think when you have the support of Filipino fans, you're a very, very, very blessed band, because you carry us like a wave of like good feeling. And that's an amazing thing. So, and we get that every time we come over. And it carries us wherever we are in the world. So we always feel like, I know this sounds like such a cliche, but we feel like our Filipino fans are in our hearts, and they're a big part of, actually the story of A1 is the Filipino fans are a very big part of that story.
Wow.
That was you being careful. We were like, whoa.
No. I think I was being honest, but you're right. I'm being careful because, we have amazing fans all over the world, and they are incredibly supportive. But I mean, I can tell you we have fan groups in Australia, we have fan groups in Singapore,
everywhere,
in Malaysia, Thailand. But in the Philippines, we have about 5 fan groups. So it's kind of like, if you look in the UK, we've got quite a few UK fan groups, but I see, we've got A1 Cebu, we've got A1 Philippines Reunited, we've got A1 Philippines. There are so many amazing fan groups that are supporting us, and they're fantastic. We talked about being an independent artist. Fans like the Filipino fans are invaluable to helping get the word out there and spreading the word, and that is it's like a movement, and it's invaluable to a band like A1. So thank you.
Wow. And we see, and it's great to hear from the artist's perspective about sort of the role that the fans play. And of course, being a Filipino, I just have to say, like, the Filipino fans are the best. Did you have, or do you have any plans of, maybe coming back here? You said that you guys were doing a tour at the start of the year, but just in UK. But, is there a possibility, of course, when everything's safe and we're good to go out again, is there a possibility of a return to the place with the best fans in the world? That's coming from me. That's coming from me. You don't have to confirm it.
I'm not going to dispute it. I'm not saying a word. I'll just let you go with that. I agree. So you say possibility. I'd say there's more than a possibility, because we were already in talks to come back over, but obviously then COVID hit. So that threw that up in the air. But I think we're still looking to coincide something with the release of the new album. because it would be so much better if, rather than just, we've done a reunion tour, we've done we've come back quite a few times now. So I think the next time we come back, we need to come back in a big way with something new album, new single, and just give the Filipino fans something really to get excited about.
That's right.
Now that we're in the topic of the best fans in the world, what would be your message to all of your Filipino fans? And do you remember any Filipino words you might have been taught before?
Ooh.
Yeah, probably. Well, I always say mabuhay, whenever I greet people. But I just worry that I say it really badly. I mean, tell me to say, like, I want to say I love you to the Filipino fans. So would I say mahal kita?
Oh, mahal kita.
Or is that to a group, or is that to just one person? How would you address a group?
Mahal kita is to one person, yeah. But then if you want to say it to a lot of people, you say mahal ko kayo.
Mahal ko kayo.
Okay, can I teach you one more thing? Because a lot of artists are. Sorry. No. I wouldn't put you in that situation. But what I want to teach you, because we're in a pandemic. Obviously, your fans miss you, and I'm sure you miss your fans as well. I'm gonna teach how to say in Filipino. It's a casual way of saying I miss you. You say miss na kita.
Oh, well, that's quite easy. No, okay. Miss na kita.
No, there you go. I felt that. See, you're worried about it not sounding good, but I feel like as long as it's honest, it's coming from the heart, it's always going to sound perfect.
I have so many Filipino friends, both over here in the UK and all around the world. Some in the US. We stay connected, and without a doubt, some of my best friends in the world. I want to give a shout out to Kaz if you're watching. To Kelly, loads of people. I want to give lots of shout outs to everyone. So but is there anyone in the chat that wants a shout out that we should be saying hello to?
Yeah, anybody who wants.
There's a lot.
Oh, this
actually,
one.
We have some who are saying that they were actually in the Smile Again video.
Oh, I think do you mean the Where Were You video?
Oh, I mean, yes, the Where Were You video.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I had some videos that nearly made me cry. Check out the video because it's really cool. Can we play it on Mix sometime? Let's get it on there.
Of course.
Everybody watching, all you gotta do is vote for MYXph.com.
Yeah.
There's one comment.
Shout outs. Let's do some. And I want to say hello to Mimi if you're watching. She's been absolutely amazing. And to Grace. Lots of shout outs. We can do shout outs at the end.
There's one comment I just want to read. 6:43 p.m. from Mary Queen Tutika Espinilla. This was it's sort of a unique. She says, "Mahal kita jowa." Okay, so jowa is a Filipino word. Do you know what jowa means?
I think I do. Is that kind of somebody that you fancy or somebody that you
like? Like a significant other.
Kind of like
significant other. I see. Okay, so I can't just say that to anyone, can I?
No. Well,
not without say it to your trouble.
Yeah. But if you would say it to your fans, if you say mahal kita jowa, or if you just call anyone, if you call any of your fans jowa, I feel like that would give a bigger impact than saying mahal kita to your fans, because they'll be like, wow, jowa, I'm Mark's jowa,
and it's a colloquial term.
Yeah.
You were saying what kind of term is it? You were saying?
I know it's a colloquial term, so it would
the dictionary. I think
it would make you seem like you're
the street language,
right?
Yeah, you're closer to the Filipino fans.
These comments keep going. I was going to read one then, and then it disappeared. So I think they come and they go. There was one that I think they were giving me some more Filipino to say. So
do we have
some? Here we are.
They're over here from Julie.
Mahal kita simula noon hanggang nagyan. Juliet from the Philippines.
Wow.
I'm sure I said that so badly. Nagyan?
That means she has loved you
from the beginning.
Up to today. Up to now.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, so you're old like me.
No. But anyway, we had such a great time talking with you. Thank you so much for bringing your positivity and your energy. Again, besides all the Filipino terms we've taught you, mahal kita, miss na kita, jowa. What else would you want to say for what else do you want to say to all of your Filipino fans?
Oh, just again, you, as I said before, you're the lifeblood of A1. You're the beating heart behind us that keeps us going. So thank you so much for the continued support, and we can't wait to see you again. I was speaking to somebody earlier saying that I can't remember the last time I gave somebody a hug. I know it's all high fives and elbows for now, but
and bowing.
And bowing, yes. Please allow me to give you the biggest virtual hug ever. And hopefully that will be a real hug in the future.
All right. So congratulations with the new songs, of course. We are really looking forward to the next works you have. That remix I'm gonna hope that happens with John Mayer. And of course the album that A1's gonna be coming up with. So much things to look forward to. Thank you very much for your time and for your music and your message.
Hey, just quickly, John, which Filipino artist do you think we should do a collaboration with? Because we obviously collaborated with Morissette for Like a Rose on Facebook Live, but who would you recommend that we do?
Wait, can you take it? It's too big of a responsibility for me.
Do you prefer a female vocalist or a male one, or a band, or
any?
Oh
my gosh. Okay, so I think Ben is
That's a good shout. That's a good shout. That's a very good idea. I think they're a great band. I've heard some of their stuff. But the thing is, if just Ben did it, that would be great, because then you'd get like Ben and Ben and Ben. It would be even better if we had a guy in the band called Jerry, but we don't. Ben and Jerry. I think Ben and A1 sounds good still. So let's make that happen.
I have one. If you haven't heard of them, they're called SB19. They're a new boy band. They're a P-pop group. They're amazing dancers. They're singers. They're very, very talented. I would love that. Would be a nice if they could teach you how to dance or something like that as well.
And they're like the first Filipino artist to enter the Billboard Social 50 chart or something. So they're really a big thing now. So yes, maybe you can teach them the way.
I'm gonna write that down.
Sure.
Well, SB19. Somebody who's watching, send me a link of one of their videos so I can check them out. That'd be great.
Actually, after this, we can send you a link to their live performance. Yes.
Wow. Okay. So I feel like we got so much. We had this interview to get answers. We were entertained. You sang. You showed some dance moves, and we just had a great time. No, I feel like your followers and your fans just like increased every time you're gonna show us that. There you go.
Whatever it is, I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Thank you very much again, Mark, for joining us in this MYXclusive. I was one of the best and most positive MYXclusives I had the honor of doing. So once again, my name is Anton.
And my name is Ai. Thank you for joining us for this MYXclusive interview all the way from the UK. Mark Reed. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you.